All right, recap. So in part two of this story, we talked about going through the phone interview. It was April 22nd, the date of the interview. I told you about what that consisted of, how I prepared for the phone interview, and overall thing, how I felt. Got done with the interview, brushing up on my skills. Next day, got an email from the recruiter that I passed the interview and they wanted to move on to give me a run in the Amazon loop and they wanted to schedule that interview, right? So, of course, I'm ecstatic. And that brings us up to where we are now. And so, let's get right into it. And so the 15th arrives, and I've been prepping for about the last 20 days or so. I'm getting ready for this marathon, and I'm entering the loop. Now, the Amazon interview loop is the final and most intensive stage of their hiring process. It's designed to thoroughly assess your fit for the role and alignment with Amazon's leadership principles. Technically, you'll face 4 to 6 back-to-back interviews, each lasting about 45 minutes long. These sessions are conducted by a mix of team members, including potential colleagues, managers, and a specialty trained bar raiser. The bar raiser role is to ensure that new hires meet or exceed the company's existing talent standards. So it's a high bar to pass, hence the bar raiser. During each interview, expect a combination of behavioral questions, often utilizing the STAR, situation, task, action, result method, STAR method. And in fact, they'll just outright tell you, word your answers in STAR format, right? There's going to be some role-specific technical and problem-solving questions. The interviewers will focus on different leadership principles. So you have to understand and be prepared with diverse examples from your past experiences that showcase these qualities, right? What have you been doing at this job, the job before that, in your previous roles? How did you raise the bar? How did you go above and beyond? How did you solve a complicated problem? Tell us detailed story about those events and the result of it, right? Now, the loop can be mentally demanding because it is very long and the questions are very in-depth and it can be kind of stressful, but it is structured to provide a comprehensive evaluation of your capabilities and your cultural fit for Amazon. So after the loop, interviewers will meet later and discuss how you perform and make a collective hiring decision, whether it's going to be a go or no go, or inclined or not inclined to hire you. And that is going to be based on how close you stack up to the current talent at Amazon. Now, if you want to excel in the Amazon interview loop, you need to familiarize yourself with the leadership principles, practice articulating your experiences using the STAR method, and be ready to demonstrate both technical skills and how you embody the qualities of those leadership principles in Amazon values. So my particular interview loop went just like this. I had 4 sessions altogether, 2 interviews, a 30-minute break, and then 2 more interviews. I felt like I was prepared for it. I felt ready, and it happened. And when it was over, boy, was I exhausted, right? Just mentally drained and physically aching from sitting in that chair for so long. The loop was overcharged, as I mentioned before, so everything was still virtual. I've heard stories of people getting flued out to different locations to do their loop, and I was, I'm cool with the virtual option. I'm happy I didn't have to fly out or go nowhere because, I feel like that would be even more stress on you having to book flights and do itineraries or drive across town and so on. So I was happy it was virtual. That fit me. That fit me. Okay. I was satisfied with my performance. A couple of moments got, kind of edgy, kind of tough. You know how sometimes you'll know the answer to a question, but a blank spot appears in your mind and you can't call the term for the life of you. But obviously you know what they're describing, but you can't call it term. That happened to me a time or two, right? But there wasn't nothing major. Okay, I felt like it went pretty smoothly. And I have plenty of good stories though to tell from being a virtual rock star at my current employer. So that part I wasn't messed up about. Once I figured out how to put my stuff in the star format, and I had, those 4 weeks or 3 weeks to work on how to tell my stories, I was ready to go. I felt like I would expect to hear some news soon, right? Interview was over. I went through the whole thing. I was tired and drained. And I felt like soon the news would be back, right? It was on a Wednesday when I took the interview. Amazon says they try to provide feedback a couple of business days, which would have fell on a Friday. So I knew it wasn't going to be Friday. It was going to be Monday because, they don't call it work late Fridays, right? No. If there's a lot of work to be done, ain't nobody going to stay, burn the midnight hour to finish it. They're going to pick it up on Monday. So I wasn't messed up about it at all. I'm like, okay, I know I'm not going to hear back this week, but it is what it is. So to me, it was done. I've gone through the infamous Amazon loop, and it was an achievement in itself. I had a mind to celebrate, and with the weekend dead ahead, that's exactly what I did. I rested, I celebrated, I rested some more, and I just reflected on the journey I've been on this far. And here comes Monday, the 20th, back to business as usual. And guess what happens? You know it, fam. Good old email from young Amazon recruiter, right? Pops up in the email box. And I wonder what it says. Hello, Warner. I wanted to touch base with you regarding your candidacy. The team would like to make you an offer! Exclamation point.
I say, you got to be bullshit.
Fam, what? Oh, yeah. Fam, I hurried up and replied to that email. And it was time to see what it do. You heard me? He called me at the suggested time. We discussed the role, the offer, the team. We did a little haggling. And finally, I said, if I get that right there in an email today, I'd be inclined to sign that thing. And he was like, all right, let me see what I can do. We hung up the phone. That was it. About an hour later, email come through your email box, and I confirmed and accepted the offer. I'm waiting on the DocuSign documents, and the rest is, as they say, family history. Now I've been a technical account manager for AWS for a little bit over 6 months so far. And, I couldn't be happier. I'm loving it. I'm learning a whole lot, and I plan on thriving. So I set my start date for the week after the 4th of July holiday. That'll give me a little time for an overdue vacation from my current job and time to finish some projects that I was leading, give notice and hand off the responsibilities, plus a week of grace period at the end to chill before the new adventure. And that's the story, fam. I can't hold you no longer. Do stay tuned to the channel for more stories from my tech journey, more no fluff labs and how to, what's up with the new role, the prequel to this story, and more IT career talk. So until the next video, tech fam, peace.